All right, mathematicians, in this video, we're going to be looking at how to find an endpoint from a midpoint and another endpoint. And this is going to be tailored towards the delta math problems that we're doing, but it'll work anytime you have this kind of situation. So this is what we do, or this is one way to do this. There's actually several ways you can approach a problem like this, but this is one way you might approach a problem where you're given the midpoint. So in this case, the midpoint of segment AB is M. So the midpoint of segment AB is M, and that's at 3, 0. If the coordinates of A are 2, 4, what are the coordinates of B? Okay, so we have a situation with a segment, a midpoint. We know one of the endpoints, we're trying to find the other one. So what I like to do in this situation is I just draw a segment. And it's not going to be placed correctly, it's not going to be angled correctly, and it's not even all that straight for that matter. And on my segment, I'm going to mark two endpoints and a midpoint. And I'm going to call those A, B at the ends, and then M for the midpoint. And I draw this same picture every single time. You know, I might have to change the names of the points, but I draw the same exact picture every time I do a problem like this. And then next to the points, I write down what I know. So I know that M is at 3, 0. I know that A is at 2, 4. And I know, well, I don't know what B is. I know that we want to figure out what are the coordinates of B. So I put a question mark next to that. So from there, what I do is a simple kind of pattern recognition where I look at my x coordinates and I look at my y coordinates and I look at what the pattern is. I know that M is exactly in the middle of this segment. So whatever I did to get from A to M, if I do that again, it'll get me the rest of the way across the segment. So let's start with our x coordinates. From A to the midpoint, looks like we added 1 because we went from 2 up to 3. So we've added 1. So if I continue the pattern, I can take my midpoint, that x value of 3, and add 1 to it, and I get 4. So the x coordinate of my B point is at 4, and I just did that by the pattern. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, and it's always either an adding pattern or a subtracting pattern. Let's look at our y coordinates. From 4 to 0, we've subtracted 4. So there's our pattern. I'm going to do it again. If we subtract 4 from 0, we get negative 4. So it looks like the answer to our problem here, point B, is at the coordinates 4, negative 4. So yeah, that's how I like to approach a problem like this. It's a numerical approach where we look at the pattern. So again, I drew the picture of the segment, marked the points I knew. I went from x to x, found the pattern, it was plus 1, did it again. From y to y, the pattern is negative 4. We subtracted 4. So subtract another 4, we're at negative 4 over here. Let's try another one. Oops. Go over here. All right. Same type of problem. The midpoint of segment AB is M. M is at negative 2, 2. If the coordinates of A are negative 8, negative 1, what are the coordinates of B? Well, let's do the same thing as last time. Start out by drawing a segment. Give it a midpoint. We'll call the endpoints A and B. We'll call the midpoint M. It's almost like that was given to us in the problem. What else is given in the problem? Well, I see right here that M is at negative 2, negative 2. I see that the coordinates of A are negative 8, negative 1. So I'll go ahead and add those coordinates. A is at negative 8 and negative 1. All right. Let's move this question out of the way so we can work with the picture here. We're going to do the same thing as last time. It's all about looking at the pattern. So let's go from x to x. So from negative 8 to negative 2, we are adding 6. So we're going to keep that going to figure out the x coordinate of B. We're going to add 6. So negative 2 plus 6, we get 4. So our x coordinate of B is 4. All right, now that we've done the x's, let's take a look at the y coordinates. So from -1 to -2, we have subtracted 1. So we're going to keep that going. From -2 to the y coordinate of b, we're going to subtract 1. -2 minus 1 is -3. So it looks like our answer for the coordinates of b are 4, -3. Boop, there we go. So there you have it. That's how you can find, that's one method for finding the endpoint when you're given a midpoint and another one of the endpoints. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.